Yes, yeah. Um, Thank you guys so much for tuning in and for this is the recording of the Zoom of Mindset for Creatives, March 21st, 2023. And being creative comes with the making sure that we have this flow, right? This understanding. And sometimes it can come with a myriad of issues or things that were like, okay, well, why did it flow then and now it's not? I don't understand, right? So my name is Jane Collins, and I do have a degree in interdisciplinary arts. So I took two, actually I took more than two, but I took two of the art fields and combined them. And I just love to help creatives, entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship is a creativity. Like you have to on some level create. And I really do also come from this belief that we are constantly creating our lives. So it's really interesting and really cool because sometimes situations happen and you're like, well, but how did I create that? Or it's like it's an unwanted thing. But sometimes through those unwanted things, we are able to understand and harvest the good and grow from it, right? So it seems like it's not working, right? It seems like it's maybe a block or something isn't happening. But when we really can sometimes look back and we realize like, oh, well, maybe this was part of the process. And I recently had that experience myself with the situation and the importance of thinking from. So Neville Goddard, The Power of Awareness, it has some great information on the mindset and thinking from. I also read from Thomas Troward, Wallace Wattles, and Napoleon Hill. And I do all this because I want to also be on the creative side, right? And when you're on the creative side, then you're continuously creative. The other side is the competitive side. And if you're on the competitive or the comparison, if you're on the comparison side, then you're not focusing on creating, right? You're worried about all of the other things. And this is where mindset actually comes in. And I use and study with basics. So Bob Proctor as well is in there because that was Melissa's mentor. And we're going to talk about the mind. And Bob Proctor created this little stick man, which is not very artistic, but it works really well. It's not like a, Monet or Picasso or anything, but it works really well to understand what's going on with you and your mind and how to create better and to understand the blockages. So, and there are so many different things. So really we have like this mind is, I'm going to show you a blank one first, right? This is the whole thing. This is the conscious mind, the subconscious mind in your body. And then those are all the things that are around you, what you hear, what you see, what you smell, right? The little antennas. And they work with the conscious mind. But it's interesting because, right, our conscious mind is also our thinking mind. And then you have our subconscious. Our subconscious mind is our emotional mind, but it's also the paradigm. And a paradigm is all the programming around, right? That you heard, especially as artists. Maybe it's the fact that, well, you can't make any money as an artist. Why do you want to do it, right? That's definitely one I've heard. Or like, especially when I was going for my art degree, like this just doesn't make sense. Like you're spending all this money for what? And so that becomes a paradigm, right? That becomes part of the self-image, becomes something that you have to like recognize and work through. And that's one of the reasons why I do study every day from Neville Goddard. Again, The Power of Awareness. And I get this one because it also has Awakened Imagination. So it has two books in one. And also why I do what I do with the essential oils and everything like that. Because I've also noticed from looking back to where I was, right? Because we can only connect the dots backwards. We can't connect them forwards. I used to have a lot of issues, both physically and emotionally, because our body is connected. It's the mind, body, spirit, right? And then we have this ability to manifest physical issues because our body is trying to give us a sign, like pain. Pain, when you like have an acronym, pay attention inward now. So a lot of the times what we're experiencing is a way that our body is trying to tell us, like, you need to like think about what you're thinking about. Going back to the stick man, right? The thinking, what are you thinking about and what are you emotionalizing? The subconscious is the emotional mind. It's really interesting because in your conscious mind and the thinking, you can accept or reject. But in the emotional mind, it can only accept. So it's only going to accept what you allow in. And when you've emotionalized with it, so like maybe not being worthy is another thing, right? Or something is not happening. You're like, this isn't working. Why isn't this working? This needs to be working. It was working, but now it's not. And you're continuously reinforcing this. And this is the importance of affirmations, and also why I like aromas too, is because when you have an aroma like lavender, which is really great for calming and yes, for sleep, but calming also, it just calms the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. So it can help you focus as well in a calm manner. I used to run around trying to get everything done in a hurry. It didn't work. It never worked. So you can take a few deep breaths of it, like apply it, right? You can have it going in a diffuser, but with that calm center, you're able to focus on what it is that you truly desire. And there's also an emotional blockage with all of this. And the reason why I use Young Living specifically is because we have over 17 farms internationally. That's our seed to seal process. It's our quality commitment. Happy to go over that more with anyone else. But I know that I want to go over some oils and really help you as creatives move forward and unlock your true potential. Because the thing is, it's the paradigm. The paradigm is also the self-image, right? The image that you hold of yourself because you've emotionalized with what people have said. Maybe that, it's also critique, right? As an artist, some people might not like your work. So you can reject it, right? You don't have to tell someone. I mean, it depends on if someone is being really rude, walk away, right? Like move out of that vicinity. But if they are just like, hey, it's not my thing. Oh, okay, thank you. But you know that it's your thing and you love it, right? So the subconscious mind is the paradigm, it's the self-image. It also is what creates the results. So you have to work backwards and you have to look at what are you emotionalizing with? What are the thoughts that you are continuously thinking and speaking life into? This is also the importance of words. If you put your hand over your lips, I'm not going to do it myself, but you should put your hand over your lips and you start talking, right? You feel the vibration. So this is the importance of conscious language and having those I am statements, right? And like, so I just put on lavender, like, okay, I am focused, I am strong, whatever it is you need to do in that moment to move forward to make it happen. And there's really going to be some good things on failure and accepting growth and helping you to really understand and using the essential oils, because again, that aroma helps unlock the limbic center of the brain. The limbic center of the brain is our emotional, it's our memory, it's our heart rate, it's our blood pressure. So it's really cool because it has that ability to help you both physically, mentally, and spiritually or emotionally, right? So it helps connect everything, because through the things that we've heard, right, going back to the stick man, the things that we heard, that we saw, that maybe, that aren't really nice, that can chip away at our self-worth. And we don't want that. I truly believe that we all have true potential and true purpose. And we're here to ignite it and have this beautiful light and empower people and help people feel amazing. So I use essential oils to do that. Now, Valor is a great way to start. I know I showed you guys lavender, but Valor is a beautiful way to start because Valor is your courage oil. So it helps balance things out, right, as well. So how you use essential oils is you take a drop, and the reason why you let it drop, and you can see them about like 2 or 3 inches from Valor, is a really blue oil. It's because it has blue tansy. But you let it drop, so it's going into your energy center, your aura, right? The thing that you can't see, that we're not trained to see. But we can feel it, because sometimes we meet people and we're just like, I don't know what it was, but like you just like, that's not my person, or that is my person, right? You just know. So having and taking a few deep breaths, and you can say, so this is like if you feel like you're losing a battle. So this could also be if you feel like a little stuck right now, and maybe you're losing a battle with yourself. The opposite of that is growth. And you can say something like, I am aware, right? You can use this affirmation. You can also like kind of like spread it around yourself. You can also put Valor on the back of your neck, because it does help with that balance, right? And it also is chiropractor in a bottle. So a little physical, it is going to help with your spine, right? Because again, mind, body, spirit, it's all one thing. So we have to really be aware of how we're using oils. I am going to use my oils mostly on my hands, because 1, you guys can see them. And 2, it also helps you guys to realize that you need to drop the oils. It's also like you're getting a full dose. So if there are any sort of like hot oils, I'll tell you when you need to use a carrier oil. The reason why you're not gonna, well, like V6. V6 is a carrier oil. And I usually do apply oils neat. I've been using them since December 2007. They literally changed my life. Sinus support, I used to have really bad piece of face acne, emotional wellness, right? Physically for my knees. So they're really cool. Now, back to like helping you get to a mindset of success, moving away from the fear, the failure, the not worthy, the stuckness, and onto growth, happiness, joy, love, faith, right? That's where we're going to get things done. And I did have some releasing. Maybe it was the spring, getting rid of all the old stuff in the winter. Like, so when I meant releasing, I was crying over the weekend. And it's a very interesting thing, because I knew, 1, that I had to get some things done, prep for this class, right? Get the people to, all the things. I market my other class on Sunday. So I have a class on Thursday, like just the things. But I also knew that in that releasing, that crying, that sadness, that grief, it could have been grief from losing my little brother, whatever it specifically was, that I had to release it in order to get back to the side of faith, love, trusting the process, worthiness, and success. So I did use peace and calming, because peace and calming for me also helps like calm the mind and helps me with focus. I've diffused this in my diffuser, and it helps me like have all these ideas, which is really cool. But again, when you have a calm mind, you're able to focus and get things done. It also does calm wild children. If you happen to be around some wild children and you're like, oh my God, y'all need to just calm down. Lavender can help too, but so try which one works, because everyone needs a little bit different. And that's the cool thing about oils. So if you're having issues with being controlling, right? Or, that fear of being controlled, the opposite of that is balance. And take a drop. And what I'm also doing, and 2 drops is fine, we're adults, 1 to 3 drops helps, because essential oils work on that cellular level, and we have trillions of cells. Okay. So, but with the, from control back to balance, and the affirmation is, I am content and blessed, right? So I am content and blessed, right? If you're like in a public space and you don't want to be like, woo, waving your hands everywhere, just smile it. I am content and blessed. And the cool thing with putting it on topically too, you could just smell it from the bottle, right? But like I mentioned, when you're putting it on topically, it's going through your energy centers, right? It's helping you work through that, the energy that maybe you have stuck on you and you just don't even realize. The energy of not worthiness that you picked up from someone else, right? So it's going through that, but also physically, it's going into your cells, and within 20 minutes, it's doing what it needs to do to get your emotional balance back, as well as the physical, the emotional and the physical, because the alarm, one of the alarm points is the stomach. Think about when you're not doing so well, right? One of those areas is the stomach, but it could also be the head. It could be the throat, the chakra centers, right? That's why I started with Valor, because Valor is very balancing, right? And peace and calming, you're adding another layer of balance. It's like food. It's like adding different foods together to create a dish, to create that perfect dish, and to recognize when you need to use multiple in a row. For this whole thing, I'm layering, which is also helping me release some emotions. Hopefully I don't think I'll start crying now, but that can happen, right? If you are doing this with me, for those of you doing this with me, that can happen. Just go with it. Hopefully you're not in a public place, but it is what it is. So, and this time I focused a lot on the stomach because we're getting into spring, we're getting into this renewal, right? And we need to be aware of getting out the old in our digestive system. Our liver also needs extra support right now. So that is why lemon is good for the common bile duct, which is a part of the liver. So you can see I'm adding some of the physical with the emotional, so you understand a little bit about your body. The spring in Chinese medicine is when you need to focus on the liver. It does have an opposite organ, which I believe is the lungs. Do not quote me on that because I realized I didn't put that in my notes. So moving on, lemon, supporting the liver. But if you're also feeling frustrated, it can be really frustrating when you're not getting the results, right? Going back to the stick man, the results are from the body, but it's also from the subconscious, that paradigm, the self-image, and what you've emotionalized with. So what are you thinking about and what are you emotionalizing with? If you're emotionalizing with frustration, you will get met with more frustration. If you're emotionalizing with happiness, you'll be met with more happiness. It sounds really simple, but it's truly that simple. And this is why I love the oils, is because it can help you move back. It doesn't mean that you're going to be like, for example, like I said over the weekend, it will take some time to get from grief back to the place of where you are. These help you work even quicker. So instead of saying weeks or months or years, you can do it into an hour or days, or maybe 1 week, right? Like, that is really powerful to me. I believe we're also here to enjoy our lives. So frustration, the opposite of frustration is accomplishment. And you can take a drop. You can also use lemon. There's a vitality version of lemon, right? And you can add it to your water. So a drop, right? There you go, lemon. The vitality version of lemon, which will also physically help your digestive system. I move beyond my limitations. That is the affirmation you can use with it. You can create your own too, right? We're all creatives, right? So I move beyond my limitations. I am accomplishing my success. Do it in the positive though, you guys. Don't so I'm releasing my frustration. You're focusing on frustration. No. You don't want to focus on what you don't want. You want to focus on what you want to achieve. So I move beyond my limitations, right? That's the affirmation that I have written down that is from, so you guys know where I'm pulling this, Releasing Emotional Patterns with Essential Oils by Carolyn Mead. Okay. She also does have a website too. Now, and I dropped my lemon, but that's okay. It's fine. So like I said, common bile duct, I move beyond my limitations with lemon. Smell it. You can also drink it. Now that we've moved beyond our limitations, and we're in this beautiful place, highest potential. Let's get to some highest potential. So if you're on the side of fear, the side of fear, the negative aspect would be getting even. You never get even, right? You just don't. The opposite of that is, again, accomplishment, accomplishing. You accomplish something for yourself, not for others, but for yourself. It can inspire and help others, right? I do what I do with all of this to help you guys have a beautiful, amazing life. Now, your affirmation, I express my potential. I express my potential, right? You can even add in, I express my true potential, right? We're getting some truths out. Again, a drop of highest potential. I'm going to be getting all the work done today, which is awesome. That's another one. Maybe you do that. I'm getting all my work done today, right? Something of that manner. Smell the aroma. Again, the affirmation here is I express my potential. So I express my potential. But the other thing though, too, with what we're doing, and with maybe there's an area that you are kind of still in this, like wanting to please someone, right? With that, the other side of that is detachment. And you can use geranium and I am loved, right? Because you are. Everyone is loved. And we definitely need to feel that. And again, we attract more of it. We can only attract what we're in harmony with. It's really interesting. And if you're in a dark space, deep breaths, okay? You can release it and you can move up and you can change any situation in your life. And essential oils will help you get there quicker. Trust me. Like I said, I'm doing a lot better. And it was probably only like 30 minutes, maybe 40. But crying is also a good way to release, right? As well. Our emotions need to be released, or else they will get stuck in our physical body and create disease. Disease, when you break down the word, which I believe is Greek or Latin, either way, no, it's Greek. It's Greek. Disease means the body out of balance. That's the most important part. Disease means the body out of balance. So we're using the essential oils and they're helping to balance us back out and get us onto that mindset of joy, love, happiness, creativity. There is a mindset for creativity. So with geranium, again, I am loved is that affirmation. I am loved. And I added geranium and citronella because those are also helping oils to help get the pests away, as well as peppermint and thieves. And you can create your own bug-free aroma, which you might need if you like to do things outside like I do. So if you're feeling wishy-washy, the opposite of that is direction. So this could be another thing if you're like, okay, the flow isn't coming in, I'm stuck, it's not happening, right? One, be aware of what you're saying, right? But find that direction, look at, and really like take some time to look within for that direction. And what inspires you? Do those things. Like I said, I like to be outside, hiking, snowboarding, walking, hiking, walking, right? Mountain bike riding, whatever it is for you, being in my garden. So you're going to use citronella and you're going to say, I am focused. To find the direction, you have to be focused, right? I am focused is that affirmation with citronella. And you do have a focus point, and there can be a way that you can discover more of your true gifts, because everyone has true gifts, by asking 3 people that you know and that respect you and you respect them. What are the 3 things that come to mind when you think of me? Just ask them. And then it'll be a really cool thing what comes in. And that'll help you understand your gifts. But maybe you already know them too. You're here. So that could be true too. Oregano. So you're feeling vulnerable, right? And that can happen when we're creative and we're like putting out a new work. We're like, oh my God, who's going to like it? I don't know. That vulnerability, right? So the opposite of that is whole, because we are whole, we are complete. Thomas Troward is another person that I study from. He's an author from the 1900s. He has The Hidden Power and Other Papers on Mental Science is that book. He has a chapter on there called Completeness. You can study that as well. It's one of the books I'm studying right now, one of the chapters. I am one with all that is. So oregano, I am one with all that is, right? That's the affirmation. Frankincense. Have you ever physically felt dizzy, had some vertigo, right? Well, the opposite of that is direction. Again, I believe it's our body physically trying to tell us, like, what direction are you really going in? So you can use frankincense. I take back my movement, right? So you're taking a drop of frankincense. Frankincense is also really good for the skin too, youthful looking skin. If you want to age gracefully, frankincense. Apply it on your face, just all over your face. It's amazing. For me, I don't use any toxins. I also teach about toxic-free living. So since I don't use any toxins, I don't have any issues. But if you're using things that have propylene glycol, DEA, fragrance, TEA, you gotta ditch those. That is also messing with your mindset, because those toxins disrupt the endocrine system, and the endocrine system controls our mood. So our mindset, right? Our mood, our emotions, our hormones. Our hormones control quite a bit. And our weight as well. So there's that. So again, with frankincense, I take back my movement. I take back my movement. Now, thieves, kind of a similar thing. If you're feeling uncertain, but these are all also different emotions in the range, right? If you're feeling uncertain, you need to get back to focus. And the reason why I kind of went with the word focus, because spring, we have growth, we have focus, we're focusing on the growth in spring. Spring is also a time of renewal, refresh, like this, you think bright and bubbly and like organizing, spring cleaning, right? Getting organized. So that was the other reason why I thought about all of these emotions specifically as well. So for thieves, if you're feeling uncertain, the opposite of that is focus. You can use, and thieves is a spicy oil. Thieves has cinnamon bark and clove. It's a blend. So you probably do need a little bit of a carrier oil, right? Especially since I've applied a little drop of carrier oil. That's what I like about this little top, little drop. Should be fine. You might need 2 drops, but I will be fine with 1. Thieves does on the bottle. There's also instructions on the bottle. Read your labels. That's what I talk about with toxins, right? And I know that Thieves is dilute 1 drop with 4 drops of V6 or olive oil. But I also know that the palm of the hands is a really tough area. And I know my skin, because I've been using these oils since December 2007. That is one of the reasons why I have such a positive, bubbly mindset. It's because if I get on that side of fear, frustration, and I have, you guys, I do, I'm human, right? People say things, people sometimes are like, okay, I am going to reject that, walk away, and with lots of oils too, because I'm like, I gotta get back to like happiness. Reject, and like, I'm happy, I'm healthy. Okay, but with thieves, the affirmation is, I am clear and focused. I am clear and focused. And you guys, if you don't have your book or your notes with you, the important thing is just literally pick an oil and apply it, right? That is sometimes, it's really that simple, because as you see, all of these oils have an emotional benefit, even peppermint, even lemon, right? A lot of the time people think like the blends, like highest potential or joy or lavender, right? Or something that has to be sweet. But oregano, thyme, basil, they even can help with the emotional aspect of our lives, okay? That's why we also cook with them too. Oregano, thyme, and basil are all spicy oils. You will need B6 for those, okay? Okay, so I realized I didn't mention that for oregano. Let's see. Yeah, thieves. I'm clear. I am focused. Copaiba. Before I go to peppermint, I want to do copaiba. Copaiba and peppermint are also enhanced. Well, copaiba is an enhancer, so it's going to enhance all the other oils, right? So my like accomplishment, detachment, like focusing on what I truly desire, which what I truly desire is to help people feel amazing every day. That's why I do what I do with the oils and helping connect people as well. Copaiba, if you're not getting enough, so that could be enough of anything, right? Maybe you feel like you're not getting enough flow, you're stuck. The opposite of that is content, right? Or I am satisfied. So copaiba is the alarm point is the stomach as well. This is the vitality version. Copaiba does have a light aroma. It does have a light flavor. So you could add a drop to your water. Oh, I grabbed the empty one. That's okay. I gotta find out where my full one is. Yeah, that's all right. So I want to mention though too, I'm gonna be using it with orange. Orange is just really bubbly and bright. So this is the topical aromatic and this is the internal. The quality is in the same. The labels are the only difference. Okay, so you get that? The quality in the oil is in the same. It's just the labels that are different. Cool. Peppermint. Oh, with copaiba, remember it's I am satisfied. Peppermint is a beautiful aroma. If you're feeling the fear of failure or that you are in failure, the opposite of that is growth. This can also help you with abundance too, especially for those of you entrepreneurs and creatives that need, you are the sole person that is creating the wealth, right? So you have to have that abundance coming in, those jobs lined up. So failure, the opposite of that is unfoldment. I accept growth. Through all things, you accept growth. And peppermint, again, is a pusher. It will push in the rest of the oils. That's one of the reasons why I did it last. Peppermint is also really cooling. We're getting closer. It's really kind of cold here. We're getting closer to the hot months. So if you're really hot outside, peppermint is a great way. So that is, in a nutshell, a few ideas and a few ways to move from a negative fear-based emotion to a positive faith-based emotion. I'm here to answer questions for those of you live, but to kind of wrap it up for those of you watching the replay, I'm gonna have a Valor, hold on, Valor, peace and calming. frankincense, thieves, peppermint, lavender, copaiba, those all come in the premium starter bundle, which is a great deal and a great way to help with all of your things, both physically and like lavender, peppermint, amazing for sinus support. That's also a thing that's happening right now, which is why spring, sinus issues start coming up. Oils that I'm using right now for myself. There's things for the stomach, right? Digestive health. The lemon is also in there. Did I say lemon? Oh yeah, my lemon fell on the floor. Lemon, right? The digestive health. Physical, like the panaway, peppermint is also good for muscles. So all those go in the starter bundle. Now, if you're like, hey, I really just want some frankincense, or you're like, you just really want one oil, you can do that at retail. You're gonna spend 24% more. So it's better to create your customer account and grab wholesale. And now there are a few ways that you can do that. The better way is to get that premium starter bundle, because it is over like a $200 savings, because it's 12 oils, a diffuser. It's an amazing savings. It's $165. Peace and Calming, frankincense, valor, and panaway, those 4 oils, the 5 mil, are all about $40 each. So you can think of it that way, like, hey, I'm really getting 8 oils for free, some samples, and a diffuser for free. Or you can break down the price of each oil and it's like 13 something each oil. The best way is to grab that starter bundle or 100 PV, $100, and get started on a loyalty order and look at your ingredients, because we also have cleaners and toothpaste and enzymes, supplements, and other ways. And depending on where you're at emotionally, it just depends on how often. If you're wondering, when I was feeling really frustrated and sad and not worthy the other day, I'm trying to think how many times I just used my oils. Couldn't even tell you how many times. At least 5 in that day. Is that a typical day? Probably in the beginning for me, yes, but I had a lot of trauma and I had a lot of things. I would say at least twice a day, morning and night, 2 times a day. Or at like the lemon, like your lemon, your citrus fresh, and your water. So that's it. I'm going to unmute for those of you live so you can ask questions and we can have a conversation, and we can also nail it down. And those of you watching the replay, all my contact info is below. You can also ask questions, reach out to me and be like, hey, this is what I'm looking for. I also want to get the Thieves household cleaner, the toothpaste. We can figure things out together. That's what I'm here for. I look forward to helping you and your family live a toxic-free life. Thank you so much. And I am going to stop the recording so that, yes, bye.